Thank you for being here, Hannah. I found out about your story through a mutual friend and reached out to you, and I'm just delighted to help share your story. So thanks for
Thank
being here.
you. Yes, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I want to go back to the beginning of how this concept even came about. I know that there was some influence in your life. So just go back to that time in college when you met that person who had such an impact on you.
I would love to. It really all started, yeah, maybe in high school I did some volunteering and kind of worked with the special education rooms, but my passion truly grew in college. I essentially just was trying to find a job. I'm a college kid and needed some money, to be honest with you. And I kind of just found a part-time gig, and it was called Elmview, the organization that employs disabilities and helps those that are disabled get jobs and be a part of the community. So I applied for the job, got the position, and it was within the first week that my heart completely flipped. It was made so apparent that I had a true passion and heart for those with disabilities. And one specific person named William, he just completely taught me so much about the population and what they face and the needs within the population. Um, and really, we just grew a friendship from there. And studying interior design really was not anywhere near close to working in
Right.
nonprofit. But I just knew right then and there that interior design wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. And he just completely taught me so much, and he was just became my friend, and we just grew our friendship from there. And ever
What's an
since then.
example of
So
how he taught you? What was an example of something that you said within the first week? So it was a huge impact. So what did you see in the people you were working with that really just started to shift your focus? And how much did it have to shift? It was just probably partly just inexperience with that population.
absolutely, absolutely. I had no idea some of the disparities that the population truly does face. It was even as simple as within the first week, learning that 80% of individuals with disabilities are unemployed. And he was
And not by
having,
choice. It's just there's not a
right,
place for them.
right.
Mhm.
There's not inclusive environments for them to work, for them to achieve goals, to set goals. And that was my job. I was a job coach. So I set him up, in different positions, whether that would be Goodwill, Safeway, because those really were the only organizations that employ individuals with special needs. So just learning that
And
the
William had expressed a desire to work.
absolutely, absolutely. So
And what
he,
was that conversation like? How was he able to articulate that to you?
yeah, I mean, it was as simple as we're in the car, going around and giving job applications out to numerous different employers, and he would just share with me, I want to find somewhere that I feel like I can be myself, and I feel like I can work and be a part of society in that way, and also live independently. Right? I mean, it's crazy to me the gap that these individuals are capable of so much, and he really made that apparent, and that is why he just transformed my heart, because it made me think, okay, I have struggled maybe getting a job here and there, right? But it wasn't ever I struggled because it wasn't inclusive or accessible to me, if that makes sense. I've
It
never
does.
had to experience feeling that way, feeling so isolated in a place, or feeling like I can't go talk to my manager because I don't know what to say, or there was just a huge gap. And um, he really just openly shared that with me the first week, and we could not find a job, we could not find the right spot. Um, and that was when I realized that there's a huge need for it in
Well, I think
communities.
too that there just as there are different skill levels and different traits and gifts within any population,
Right.
that would be true of this population. And obviously not all of this population can work and live independently, but people like William can.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get to your brilliant coffee shop idea, Common Grounds, and what a name too. We're going to get to that. But I also want to just talk about at that point, obviously you've come a long way from that first week of meeting William to where you are now. And there's a lot of work to connect the dots and all the things. But what ideas did you have then to support him and others like him?
So at that time, and it's funny because it's really worked its way into the shop now, which I can't wait to share about that. But I really just tried to seek out more of the isolating issues. So not so much was I trying to find them jobs. It was more of I'm trying to find a safe space, a safe environment, to help them just achieve whatever goal it may be, whether it be even just their communication, or speaking to, making friends, finding a place that they can meet others that accept them and love them, value them. So I mean, really, that was what I would do. I would try to even go find community outreach opportunities, go to the movies, go do more social things that helped these individuals be more confident when they go apply for jobs, be more confident when they talk to employers. So I kind of started in a different way than I think some job coaches would have. I really broke it down and started more of just, the social aspect of it, the social part of it that I think a lot of us miss when working with individuals with disabilities.
Well, and I think that's one thing to have a job, but you're trying to help them build a life.
Correct. Yes. And be able to, it's not just about having a job, it's about being at the job and being able to talk to customers and again, feel accepted and feel known. And that all starts somewhere first before just jumping into a job. I don't think that some organizations really set these individuals up for success, because I think there really needs to be a breakdown of, feeling comfortable in who you are and loving who you are first, and then, jumping into the job and getting employed that way.
And that's true for all of us.
Right, exactly. It doesn't even have to do with, disabilities. It's every ability, right? And it's in every population. So that was kind of my goal.
So you switched your degree from interior design to what?
So I actually ended up still studying interior design, and then I minored in business management. But I really just jumped into nonprofit work, which is hilarious because I was wanting to design, people's living rooms. And then now I worked for the Special Olympics International for a while, and I really just full on jumped in. And I thought, you know what, if this is my God-given purpose and my passion, then I'm going to pursue it. And it doesn't matter.
Well, and you've used it in this beautiful space you've created. So
yeah, it turned out to be exactly where I'm supposed to be, it feels like. So yeah, it's all works out for a reason, for sure.
All right, Hannah, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about Common Grounds, the coffee shop in Yakima.
Right.
We'll be back in just a moment. Let's talk now about the coffee shop. So Common Grounds is about the most brilliant name I've ever heard of for a coffee shop, especially for the message you're trying to convey. I want to know, when did you start to come up with the idea? And let's talk about some of the challenges you faced getting it to where it is today.
Absolutely. Well, I've been thinking about doing something like this for years.
Did it start as a coffee shop idea, or was it something else?
It always has started out as a coffee shop, which this is something that everyone is completely surprised about. I don't know anything about coffee, really. I don't. I had to learn. I was never like a barista at one point. But I went to a conference.
I just had my first cup of coffee like 2 years ago. So I don't either.
So I actually went to this conference a couple years ago, and they shared that one of the most inclusive, accessible places for those with disabilities is a coffee shop. Because not only, there's so many different job duties, responsibilities, and a lot of room to grow. So they really just shared at the conference that, you start out maybe doing some of the cleaning or stocking, and then you work your way up to the cups and stickers and all that good stuff. And then eventually this coffee shop, my coffee shop, everyone will be a barista or broista. It's just, that was really why I came up with it. It kind of just hit me right then and there. And I always knew I wanted to do something that created just a community, and truly within the disabled community, because obviously that's where my heart was. But I thought maybe I could start paint nights, or maybe I can do something on a smaller scale. And then the coffee shop idea came in, and I'm like, nope, that's it. I'm gonna do that. And it was probably 3 years ago. And I kind of jumped around with names. I was living in Arizona, with Special Olympics Arizona. So it was probably at that time where I wanted to do maybe coffee on the go, or do farmers markets, which I tried a couple of those. And that's really how it came to light. My mom would love that you say that the name is just incredible,
Is it
because
her? Did she come up with
she's
it?
the one, she's like, common grounds, everybody, we all have that common ground, and we're all equal and loved and accepted. So yeah, she would love to hear that, because she always tells me, I came up with that, everybody know.
Yeah, good job. Good
Yeah.
job. And now, or is your hometown Yakima? Is that why you came home to do it?
So yeah, Zilla, Lower Valley, so really close to Yakima. And then I moved to Yakima, but really that's why, because all my family was here. And just the need within the community. Truly, there's a huge need for it in Yakima Valley, and that's essentially why I chose to come back and bring it to the area. And I knew so many people, friends, family, special education programs, all that good stuff, just from living around here. So it was just very clear that this is where I was supposed to be and was supposed to open. So
Now, how from your original idea to start the coffee shop after you tried the other things and decided, kind of settled on this idea, how close are you to what you imagined it would be? Because you've just recently opened. So how close from
very,
what we all have a plan, and then
right.
some of the plan times the plan goes to according to plan, and sometimes it
Right.
doesn't. So how
Yeah.
far on the mark or off the mark how much flexibility did you have to have in that process, knowing that you're
Oh,
creating something that doesn't exist where you live?
well, I mean, that's really it, right? I mean, there's nothing like it. So it is truly the most different, inclusive, funkiest shop in Yakima. And I believe that with all my heart.
And that's a good thing.
Because yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. And that really was my vision. I wanted to plant somewhere where not myself, but this coffee shop could be different, because it is. What we're doing is different. The people that we work with might be different, and that's okay. And that's the beautiful thing about it, right? Is that we are different, and but we're still loved, accepted, valued. And it really has transformed. My ideas have transformed probably every week. It gets a little bit bigger, or it gets a little bit I don't know, more on the nitty gritty, if that makes sense. I think
Right.
my overall concept was really the employment. And then within maybe a year or so, it transformed into, okay, I'm going to offer employment, but we also offer inclusive events tailored to those with disabilities. So
How many
now
how many people do you employ now?
there's a total of 9 employed, and 7 have a different ability.
So
So
how many of those 7, or let's just give an example of maybe who comes to mind first, and names or no names, it's up to you. But how much of a difference do you see in the process, just from the time that they came in and applied for the job and now they're there working? What is
oh
that
my
like
God.
for you to watch that come to fruition and for them?
Oh man, that's where it gets real emotional, because in the short time, I didn't know that this place could really change, um, truly somebody's life in I mean, really such a short amount of time, because somebody gave them a chance, somebody gave them an opportunity, somebody is, you know, making it known how important they are. And like I said before, it was really just starting out with just kind words, and creating this space that those with different abilities feel accepted. And the change within even 2 weeks it's incredible. I mean, even some of my employees said, I never ever want to touch the coffee machine ever. I never want to do that. I never want to be a barista. And two of them that said
Said
that,
that.
yeah, they are now baristas, and they are doing it completely independently.
Well, I tell
Which
you,
was,
those machines, those coffee machines are intimidating to a person who doesn't
yes.
know how to use them.
Oh, yeah,
I wouldn't have a clue where to start,
yeah,
but
yeah, seriously, I barely did at first either. And I think though it really is that guidance, right? And it really is those words of encouragement.
building
Um,
confidence. And
absolutely, absolutely. And that has been the biggest change that I've seen within even the short amount of time we've been open is the
are there
confidence.
some customers who come in and they don't know the story behind it? And are they surprised when they see some of the employees? And are they accepting, hopefully, that people who come in are, even if they aren't prepared for who will be serving them and helping them and in their customer experience?
Yes. So the answer is yes. They're actually most of the customers that we have had don't know our story. And I think at the end of the day, I want everyone to understand, right? That's my goal, but not everyone will have maybe the same passion. But I will say that most customers that we have truly been inspired, which is great, and that's really all I can ask for. It's not everyone maybe is going to be out there advocating on the streets,
Right.
like, right? I mean, really, it's not maybe for everybody,
But
but
they can patronize your establishment and that
absolutely,
helps.
absolutely. And Yakima Valley has been incredible. They have been so supportive. So many foundations, so many nonprofits have come in, and they're just inspired. And really, that's all I want. I want those in the Yakima Valley to understand that, disabled lives are important and capable, really.
Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk about what people who are watching this and people who live in your area or people who are outside of your area but might want to contribute in some way, how they can help Common Grounds continue to be a success. You're just starting, so
Yes.
you'll learn a lot as you go, but for now you have some really specific things in place to help enrich their lives. So let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about that. Hannah, let's talk about the events that you have planned. And like you said earlier in the show, yes, this is about providing employment, because 80%, did you say,
Yeah.
of people with disabilities are unemployed, and a lot of them want to work. But we also talked about how you're trying to build a life for them, help them build a life, and help them feel included, and help them have a place to go to do fun things and things that will help stimulate them in other ways as well. So what are some of the events you have planned, and will they take place there at Common Grounds at your coffee shop?
Yes. So through partnerships, we'll maybe go to different locations, but for majority of our events, they are located at Common Grounds. We have anywhere between paint nights, coffee and connect, brewed to include, which is just a socializing for professionals
Did your mom
working.
come up with that name too? No.
She didn't. This
Oh.
this one she did.
It's a good one.
Yeah, we can't give her credit for that. But I mean, culinary classes, everything. There is like a big range of events. And I was sharing 80% of disabilities are unemployed, but 60% of individuals with different abilities are facing social isolation
Mhm.
and mental health conditions, and are at serious risk of being so isolated. So that was those facts or what I base my coffee shop off of. And these events are completely tailored to those with disabilities, but they are open to the public. So completely free events, thanks to our sponsors and donors. And the way that we make those inclusive and accessible is really offering them at no charge, no cost to those with
And that's a
disabilities.
really good idea too, is to have people of all abilities attend these events, right? So that
Absolutely.
there is that feeling of inclusion on either side of it. Everyone can
Yeah.
be part of
And
those events.
right. And that was the mission. That was, I never wanted it to be some, uh, some end. It's almost more isolating to have just individuals with disabilities attend, because that's putting these individuals in a box. And that is not our mission. Our mission is to include and be a part of society and do the things that all of us get a chance to do and all of us love doing. So paint nights, yoga nights, we have all the fun stuff going on. So yeah, completely open to the public and just tailored to those with disabilities. So it does look a little bit different. Just like I said, just the time frame of things. Some of the yoga moves and positions are super user friendly, accessible, but it is open to all of Yakima Valley and beyond. So
And you need volunteers to help with these events.
lots of volunteers, yes. So volunteers are crucial for us. And it doesn't even have to be just our events in shop. It can be some of our fundraising, our outreach, community outreach. We always need volunteers. Most of our volunteer needs are listed on our website, which is the great thing about just having everything in one place, and very, very easy to find those needs within the or within our company. So you can always go to the website and kind of find all the details there. But volunteers are needed for our events.
Right. Well, then you also talked about donating. So if someone can't be at an event, but they want to make a donation that would help fund some of the events that you're holding, like for the actual paint, the actual materials, the instructors, I'm guessing the instructors probably volunteer if they're teaching yoga, but what are some of the ways that people can contribute if they don't actually live in Yakima, but they want to support you from afar?
Absolutely. So most all of our events are based on sponsorship, partnership, and donations. So, like you said, covering our art supplies, our yoga supplies, culinary, all the good stuff. So, donating is crucial for us, and sponsors. That's kind of self-explanatory. You'll get your banner, and you'll kind of be a face in the shop. Just highlighting what you're doing for us, and it just goes beyond just a coffee shop. It's really supporting the disabled community in Yakima. So that's kind of the way that those that aren't able to come to our events can support us. Just making it again inclusive for those with disabilities, and that means covering those supplies and covering even the cost of transportation. We have those donating to getting bus passes for those disabled in the community, and there's a big range of things, but we really do rely on that, and we're so grateful for it. And it's just absolutely blessed the shop so far. And we've had our first event that was absolutely terrific, thanks to our local sponsor. So
Well, I think you've put all of your talents to use, Hannah. I'm so happy to talk to you and share your story. And if I'm ever in Yakima, I will most definitely stop and grab a cup of coffee from your shop. Thank you
good.
for being
Yes.
here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Keep
Thank
up
you.
the good work.
Thanks.